one more question. My second question is, okay, it's not a legal requirement, but I have been in the ITU processes from the beginning, from the preparatory meetings till the very end. And I don't know how many countries in the world really, even the United States had not fully ratified the Cybercrime Convention, and there are a lot of Asian countries who are adamantly against the Budapest Cybercrime Convention because they feel that there is a South Asian similar protocol which they are signatory to. So it's controversial. It is not clear-cut. But my question for the time being is that if, and we admitted that it's not a legal requirement, what document is it which even recommends it or even states tendentially that a country should do this, otherwise this will happen? I would like to know about that document.
Let me paraphrase what he said very briefly. Member IT said A, that many people had serious reservations about the Budapest Cybercrime Convention. In particular, he mentioned that the US had not ratified it. You can update us on that. And he also said that Southeast Asian countries were coming up with a parallel protocol. So that is point number A. People had serious reservations and many did not sign it. Point number B that he made was, once again, even if there is no clear legal requirement, he is asking for any indication that there would be pressure on or any kind of future legal requirement to do this, where you can reiterate your IT thing. So these two things, please. Go ahead.
Let me mention them. First of all, let me start by mentioning UN resolutions. UN resolution 5563, 56 121, 57 239, and 58 199. These are the UN resolutions that basically imply that most countries should adopt this procedure, number one. Number two, it is an incorrect statement to say that the US has not adopted this legislation. The US has not only recommended, George Bush not only recommended this in 2003 to the Senate, but subsequently the Senate, without any objections whatsoever, without any reservation whatsoever, in 2006 has ratified this convention. And under the US Constitution, once the Senate has ratified it, it comes into effect in the local US law. What is remaining is that the instrument of ratification has to still be deposited with the Council of Europe Convention. So it is incorrect to suggest that the Americans are not with it. The Americans are actually with it. They're the ones who started it, and they have actually ratified it without any objections whatsoever. There's been no problem here. It went up to Capitol Hill, Senate passed it, it happened last year, it's ratified as part of US law.
And what about the Southeast Asian countries? क्या वो अपना कोई parallel convention बना रही है, to the best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, sir, that convention is not going to be formed.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, it's not going to be formed. And let me also add something else to it, because I've been involved in these processes. If they do try to form it, trust me, it's not going to make a damn difference, because at the end of the day, this is the convention that will rule. And do we want to be part of zero, do we want to be part of where we actually want to export and import from?
Suppose that I am one of the major stakeholders who is going to implement the law. First of all, about conventions, as per my knowledge, I know never such convention occurred in the history of lawmaking, which is always binding. Convention is always an agreement which lays down a yardstick, a standard, a model for others to follow. It is never binding. Yeah, protocol, other things, they come after that. A very quick comment about Anwar Saab's vastness of definitions and my dear friend's objection to the non-bailable and bailable. So the thing is, we had to make laws according to our environment. In your own law, you have mentioned the Criminal Procedure Code, which was made in 1898, 100 years ago. But we are still following it. We have to comply the modern legislation with the older one. Now we have to say. Now we have.
What your discussion for more?
Yeah, just 1 minute.
Enter into force on 2007 January with reservation. R stands for reservation. ये नीचे लिखा है reservation. उसके बाद they made their declaration और वो जो additional protocol है about xenophobia उसको उन्होंने totally accept नहीं किया. ये तो इसका outside Europe जो है वो इसका कर. They were part of the draft in 1998.
Excellent. Can you hear us, sir?
Yeah,
Okay. Now, Zahid, while you were away, member IT said that he attended that committee जहाँ पे ये cyber convention वगैरह draft हो रहा था जो भी है. अच्छा, आप clarify करें.
अच्छा, That's what I was saying is that जो document सलमान साहब अभी नहीं है तो वो कह रहे थे कि even ITU's recommendations become very important and they become binding. I said I can't even find a document where it is recommended. Then I gave an example that while we were drafting the declaration of principles for the second phase of the WSIS, many European countries wanted to say that we will support cybercrime prevention, etc., like the Convention of Europe. And just the word like was objected to by many Asian countries, in particular China. And they said that you will not show cybercrimes as an example. Forget about recommendation. And then after a lot of debate and after a lot of cajoling, they agreed that we can allow like cybercrimes, provided you add 2 or 3 others to it. I think there was the Australian or the South Asian. I think that document is on record. If you have the internet access, we can put it out now. The Declaration of Principles. So we'd like to know which is the document which recommends. आपने UN की declarations की, I don't think any of those UN declarations have a recommendation that you should follow the Cyber Convention, ये आपकी European या Budapest Convention जो है.
I will forward those to you.
नहीं web पे देखे, on the spot देखे यार.
I'll give you the exact response of that.
Okay, go ahead. Zaid, a response dete hain. By the way, Anwar Saab has on a PowerPoint right now a list, a table showing, latest table showing non-member states of the Council of Europe which have ratified, which have ratified or not ratified the Cyber Convention. The United States is the only one entering into force 1/1/2007, but with reservations R, D और A पे access लगे. बाकी Canada, Costa Rica, Japan, Mexico, South Africa में से कोई flexibility नहीं.
United States was part of document since 1998.
Beyond signatories, nobody is ratified, right?
Total number of signatures not.
Rectify is important ना, signatory तो हर कोई कर देता है. उसी ने rectify करना है ना कि जिसने जो बाइंड करना है.
So anyway, so you have member IT's questions. You have member IT's questions and comments. Go ahead, respond please.
First of all, I'd like to deal with the WSIS issue. Second, I was dealing with Anwar Saab's comments with regard to the Cybercrime Convention and the list of ratifications. First of all, the WSIS process that is being discussed is a non-binding, not international process. It is a CSTD UN process, which basically means that anything that the WSIS passed, including what the Rajasthan have mentioned, has no binding effect whatsoever. And it was a free-for-all exercise where where the American government actually did not even want to take part in it. And this is a fact. With regard to the CS process, with regard to cybercrime, the Cybercrime Convention is part of it. And this is something that nobody in the Ministry of IT Telecom wants to agree to, because we're saying it because we're Pakistani, and I can send several documentation across, which I've only just even discovered yesterday, which shows that the US is actually following this.